So over the last month, I've been getting into a bit of oil painting. And today, I decided I'd show off a bit of the progress I've been making so far. In this video, I did 4 paintings, 2 portraits, and 2 still lifes. Now, they're not amazing, as they are some of the first paintings I've ever done. But hey, you gotta start somewhere, alright? Anyway, onto the painting. For painting number 1, I decided to go with a self-portrait. I figured this could be a good place to start and, set a benchmark to compare back to in the future.
Wow. Very beautiful so far.
Yeah, so this didn't start out quite the way I'd planned, and even better, my camera died during the filming process. So there is a bit of a jump between where I left off and now.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty good. I don't think it's quite dry yet, but it looks like me, which is good. That's what I intended it to be like.
As you can see, I think I did manage to make it look like me. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. In fact, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and it probably would have been easier to start with a drawing, but hey, maybe I'll talk about this later in the video. On to painting number 2. For this next painting, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. I figured I'd already painted a portrait, so why not try something else? So I decided to go with an apple. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to practice mixing colors and get good at basic forms. I mean, it's just a sphere. How hard could it be? I guess the answer to that is kinda hard. Considering my apple ended up looking more like a tomato, I'd say this wasn't a great success.
I mean, look at this. How did I go from this to that? After the apple, I started to doubt myself a little. So, for the next painting, I decided to go with a tutorial. Up to this point in the video, I've kinda just been speeding through, not really showing much of my painting process. A lot of this is just due to the fact I didn't really film a whole lot, so for these last couple paintings in the video, I figured I'd show a bit more of my process. This painting was just from a beginner tutorial by Paint Coach, which I'll leave a link to in the description. For such a simple painting, I struggled quite a lot. I had problems moving the paint around, problems mixing the colors, and I don't think the shapes ended up being all that great either. After finishing this painting, I realized I was finding it difficult to get any detail with the shape and sizes of the brushes I was using. But I was determined to work with what I already had, because it's not about the tools, it's about how you use them. Also, I was too lazy to go buy new ones. On to painting number 4. After reflecting on the last couple paintings, I realized the most fun I had was painting that self-portrait. So I figured I'd go back to portrait painting. But this time, I needed more of a challenge. Not that I wasn't already challenged enough, I just figured I'd torture myself a little bit more for your enjoyment. Enter John Singer Sargent. Sargent is a master painter, and the way he paints with what looks like messy brushstrokes up close becomes a beautiful painting from a distance. This is what I want to try and achieve, which is why, for this painting, I have decided to do a master study of his 1906 self-portrait. This was a whole lot more challenging than the last 2 paintings, but you know what? It was a whole lot more enjoyable as well. Armed with the little knowledge I had gained and a bit of determination, I pushed myself to paint what I think is a rather good recreation. I am really proud of this painting. Yes, there are mistakes. Some of the shapes are off and the colors are more saturated than the original, but I feel like I've still managed to achieve some level of resemblance. Side by side, you can definitely see the differences, but on its own, I do think it's a good painting. I feel like I've made a good start with painting, and I'm going to continue to work on my skills as much as possible, because there's still a whole lot to learn. In this video, I only really painted alla prima, which is wet on wet, doing a painting in just a single session. There is still a whole lot more things for me to try and learn. I guess though, for now, that can wait for another video. If you made it this far, I'd like to say thank you for joining me on my first steps of oil painting. This is something I've wanted to do for a while now, and I still have a whole lot to work on. If you'd like to continue to follow me on my art journey, then please do subscribe. I have some great ideas for future videos, and if you have any tips or ideas yourself, feel free to let me know. Critique is very welcome, so please don't be shy. Share your thoughts in the comments of what you think, and hey, thank you again for watching. I'll see you later.